Hello, it is Topical Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. Steve Sipress here, and I believe almost a month to the day. About 4 weeks ago here in a Topical Tuesday message, it was July 23rd. I just looked it up. I had urged and suggested that you pay attention to the propaganda machine. I mean, that was the time when the ironically named Democrat Party removed the democratically nominated candidate, Joe Biden, for the presidency, and they installed someone who not only didn't run, didn't get any votes, no democratic process whatsoever. The most undemocratic thing ever, but I digress. And yet this Kamala Harris, who was installed about a month ago, just a few months ago, there was talk about, she needs to be removed from the ticket. She's just going to drag Biden down. She was the most unpopular vice president of all time in the polls, if you can believe the polls. I mean, at least they're somewhat close to reality. She completely inept, completely inexperienced, somewhat not too bright, very extremely unpopular among insiders, among voters, among the general public. And yet, when they installed her as a presidential candidate, I urged you about a month ago to watch the propaganda machine crank up into full strength. These are the same folks that were talking about how unpopular she was and unfit and unsuccessful, and she should be taken off the ticket, and she's dragging everything down. Those very same people just almost instantly turned and cranked it up and said, she is just the greatest, joyful second coming. And so this week is the crowning moment. It's just getting started. It's not over yet by a long shot. So you still have plenty of time to pay attention, but hopefully you're paying attention to this Democrat Party convention that's going on right now. The star-studded, the Clintons, the Obamas tonight, and all the other politicians, and all the hoopla and all the press and everything just cranking up to she's the one, and she's the greatest, and she's the answer, and she's the savior. And these strategies and tactics, they just work. I mean, you've just seen it now. You're in the midst of seeing a completely crappy, in business terms, it would be a product or a service, unless you, personally you're an expert or coach or consultant. You are face of your business, so pay lots of attention to how the propaganda machine can make a thoroughly unpopular, unfit, in their opinion, candidate suddenly turn into the greatest candidate there is and the savior of America and all that. So now, hopefully you do not have a crappy product or service and you're not a crappy person. So you're asking, this doesn't apply to me, Steve. I'm an excellent person and I have an excellent product or service. Well, here's the point. How much better can these tactics and strategies work for an excellent person or an excellent product or service when you're seeing them work for a crappy person, a crappy product or service? I'm always fond of saying somebody got to sell Rolls Royce and Lamborghinis and Ferraris, but other people had to sell Yugos and Ford Pintos and on and on and on, and those were sold. That's what marketing does. So I'm not suggesting, in fact, I'm hoping you are not someone who is crappy or has a crappy product or service, or you have no morals or scruples, or you're inept or have no experience. Quite the opposite. I call having excellent product or service, or being an excellent person, if you are the service, you are the expert, you're your product, it's the ante to get in the game. Most of the strategies and tactics that I've taught to thousands of other business owners and entrepreneurs over the decades work best. Some of them only work at all when you have an excellent product or service. You're not going to get a lot of repeat business or referrals. You might get some, but when they find out that they're referring to an inferior product or service or person, that's going to stop. So I consider an ante to get in the game is that you are an excellent person or have an excellent product or service. So pay attention to what expert marketers do with a crappy subpar product service, and now with a person, you're seeing it straight up front. I suggest it's both candidates that are in the two major entrenched corrupt political parties here in the U.S. They're both inferior people with more problems and negatives than positives, way more for both of them. And yet, watch how the propaganda machines on both sides make them appear to be, they're the one, they're my hero, they're the savior. This week, since it's Topical Tuesday, I'm just suggesting you focus on the topic at hand. What's in the news? The Democrat National Convention, the every 4 years big party of the party. Pay attention, break down what they're doing into step by step, and make it a template so you can start using that in your business. And if you want help from with any of that, that's what I do. I give you step by step directions, templates to help put strategies and tactics into place that'll work, even for a crappy product or service. Although I don't like to help people with a crappy product or service. I don't feel that's the right thing to do. That's not right to your prospects. So hopefully first you fix your product or service or yourself if you're the expert in your business, but then come to me and I'll help you to vault yourself into the stratosphere way past your competition by using strategies and tactics that work. If they work with crap, they'll certainly work with good stuff too. And that'll do it for Topical Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. Thanks for being here with me today, and I will catch you again tomorrow. On World Wide Web Wednesday, we got some big news on the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Catch you then.